Assetto Corsa Rally Update 0.5 is finally here after the long-awaited just anything to this game since Monte Carlo got added, which seems like forever and a day ago. We get some updated physics model, some updated car tire physics basically, force feedback improvements, and we get a new rally location, which is Greece, with 2 new stages in that. Gonna get into that, all that, my thoughts on the whole thing, how it's been. This is a longer video because I've actually included a full run of the Elatia special stage, which is the one you see right now, the footage you're watching, and then we go into the Loutraki special stage as well. So with that, let's just jump into it, and yeah, I'll let you know my thoughts on it. First of all, the Elatia special stage is, according to the patch notes, it says, connecting the towns of Elatia and Zelly, this stage is wide, fast and unforgiving. Exposed rocks, deep ruts and sweeping corners allow drivers to exploit every horsepower available. But the high speeds and demanding service conditions demand precision from start to finish. Now, my first impression of this stage is it's very, very wide. Very wide. I actually went in the Citroen Sara. This is a default setup. Both of the cars are default actually, as well as the rear-wheel drive. I try out later. But first and foremost, I just want to say a massive disappointment to the actual Subaru. They really feels like a piece of crap in this update. The amount of understeer this thing, it almost feels criminal what they've done to it, and more so that it just doesn't. It's not even needed. To the point where sometimes it doesn't even want to turn, and you can get into the Citroen, for example, and it will take that corner with ease. It's just, whatever they've done to the force feedback or the physics with that car, they need to have a look at that. Let me know down below if you found this yourself. It just feels almost criminal that they've just made it such a really poor handling car when it's been a bit of a crowd or a fan favourite. So just want to get that straightforward to you guys, straight to the point at the start of the video, and yeah, very, very weird. The stage, like I said, is very wide, very fast, this stage. I'd probably argue it's probably the easier location out of the two, this one, which is Elatia. Again, very wide. When you think of Greece in any rendition on any rally game, you always think of very tight, technical, rocky stuff. This is rocky, but it's just so wide. It's just such a wide open, just full tilt run. Pretty easy stage to learn, if I'm honest with you guys. I don't know what time it was. I got, I think, top 10, I don't know, whatever. The stage was pretty easy to learn, if I'm honest. Maybe half an hour of just having a go at it. The second one was about 45. There's a bit more turns than that. That's probably the more techie stage, which is the Loutraki special stage. But Elatia, very, very cool. I actually like the scenery. The actual feel of the game feels pretty nice. The improvements overall are noticeable throughout my experience. I tried the all-wheel drive with the Citroen Sara, a bit of the Impreza, although I just let that go to the side because it just felt terrible no matter what tune I did. Don't know. If you guys have any tunes or anything like that, let me know what really helped you. The camera and stuff like that I thought would have helped it, but I honestly don't know what's going on with that. Zara, straight out of the box, just didn't even need to touch it. Obviously, once I wanted to, if I want to fight to get like a really, really fast time or a higher spot on the leaderboard, we get into tuning. But for the most part, just to experience it, really, really, really cool. This was a very, very, very nicely detailed stage. One thing that's really interesting is the actual rocks on the side of the road, because it's like a 3D laser scanned, how they implement the cars and the tracks in this game. Rocks in this game were very unforgiving. A couple of hairpins right at the start, and pretty much all the hairpins in this actually, if you even touch them, it's pretty much a dead stop. Like a dead stop to the car. There's no getting out of it, like on EA Sports WC or maybe Dirt Rally 2.0, hell, even Richard Burns Rally sometimes you can get away with it. This, just literally so brutal, just really just aggressively stops the car. The detail in the stage is pretty nice. Overall, it's a pretty nice. I think you could probably do a bit more track detail, but then again, I only tried it just in the perfect conditions, which is as you see now. I didn't do any night stages or wet weather. I'm going to do like I'll probably do some videos on that later, what it actually looks like. Obviously it's going to look good, but you know, a little bit bland, I'd say, in the actual tire, in the actual stage. The next stage after this, a lot more detail in that. But yeah, overall, the force feedback, it is improved, but it is quite difficult for me to really reinforce that, because I've recently upgraded to a SimMagic wheelbase and a new pair of SimMagic pedals as well. My whole feeling for everything is so out of whack, like so out of whack, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm kind of struggling to learn this wheel. I'm getting better, but I'm just so used to my previous Thrustmaster T598, the actual wheel rim size, and this one is so much bigger, as well as the grip is so much more thicker on your hands. It just very, very different. That's neither here nor there, but on this wheel particularly, it did feel quite nice, I'll be honest with you. We still have the bit wishy-washy that's just in this game for some unknown reason, like you're sort of driving on a layer of water the whole time. That's still there, though admittedly it has been cut down quite a lot. But just, I'll be completely upfront with you guys, it's still not there. It is early release, I know it's beta, whatever, it's, I don't know, I'd say it's like 85% there now. Marginally better than the previous renditions or the previous updates, but still not perfect. So I don't go into this thing it's going to be amazing. It's still a bit weird, a bit vague. Even with the force feedback detail I've adjusted in, I think they call it Pit House or whatever in SimMagic's system or whatever it is. I've tuned in there a fair bit, as well as the in-game settings. Really, in the actual in-game settings is not a great deal, but more so in the actual app. Yeah, so a little bit vague, a little bit how you going, if I'm honest. Some of the tyre model, that's what's a lot of update has gone into the tyre model itself. So let me just get my phone and let you guys know what actually has been done. So we have comprehensive tyre model improvements. We have a revised peak slip angle formula, adjusted as a function of load to narrow the variation range. This increases the performance impact of the inner tyre, ensuring it acts as a functional gripping tyre rather than a dragging scrub tyre. Did notice this when I was trying to get some, as you guys know, if you want to get a quicker turn than normal, if there's a bit of a gutter, you can hook a tyre in. Did feel the car actually grip into that, or even like just a bit of a crevice or something like that. It really did dig in a lot more, so that was noticeable. Revised load sensitivity formula, enhanced stability under high loads. The formula now dynamically scales based on tyre pressure and actual contact path dimensions. So that's saying more so if you have a little bit less air in the tyre, it's a wider load. Correct me if I'm wrong. So therefore, it would technically be a bigger contact path for more grip. I didn't really experiment too much with tyre pressures, but that could be an interesting thing to look at. If you guys have done that, let me know. Refactored surface recognition. Every tyre now utilises a dedicated parameter set for each surface type. Individual surfaces can now also apply unique modifier overrides to these baseline sets. Did notice this in the next stage after this one. There's a couple of sections where it goes from dirt into tarmac and then from tarmac back into dirt. You actually feel a significant difference in the grip level. More so when you come off the tarmac into the dirt. You have a nicer line, and as soon as it gets off that tarmac into the dirt, you feel the whole car just push across a bit, like just slot across this ever so slightly, and then carries on to push out, as obviously you don't have as much grip on dirt as you would tarmac. So, but yeah, you actually have to really keep that in mind for the actual line you take through the corner, because you will come on an arc like this, say, and this is where you would hit the gravel, and then it just pushes you out like that. So I definitely did feel that myself on this wheel. Let me know if you've had any differences on Fanatec or any other wheels like that. Revised camber properties. Both camber angle and camber thrust effects are now dynamically load dependent. I didn't really experiment because, as like I said, I used just the default setups, but that's more so looking at if you had a bit more neg camber, as the load of the car would, suspension load would actually increase, you'll get a droop like that, getting more camber again. So that could be an idea to actually experiment with a little bit lesser camber, and then rely on a softer suspension to actually increase the negative camber. But a bit of food for thought with that one. Added bulldozing effects. Introduced longitudinal and lateral bulldozing physics on soft surfaces. Lateral bulldozing increases tyre slip and decreases with excessive camber. The overall effect scales with specific surface conditions. So I'm assuming that is... To be honest, I'm not too sure with that. Let me know down below what bulldozing effects would be in your eyes. Increases tyre slip and decreases excessive camber. Not too sure. Not too sure on that one. Experimental stick slip vibrations. Reintroduce high grip surface vibrations. I did notice that in the actual base itself. I had a lot more of a vibration effect through some certain corners depending on the grip level. So that is in there now. I did notice it, if I'm completely honest with you, I really did. Also through my seat, this is a haptic seat, I actually felt a bit more vibration of the motors kicking in here and there. So I'm not too sure that even correlates between the wheel and the seat, but it did feel like it was coming a bit more alive. Global tuning pass rebalanced all surface properties, car physics, set up presets to align with new physics architecture. Yeah, guess that's what kind of just explains itself. Experimental dig dependent vibrations, low grip surface vibrations, and that just carries on to the experimental stick grip we mentioned before. But overall, some improvements there. So overall, how do I actually feel they went with this update 0.5, the newest rendition of Assetto Corsa Rally? Well, to be honest, I think they are on the right track. The rear-wheel drive car, you can see pictured here, it felt fantastic. I couldn't really fault it. Like, yeah, I'd like a bit more detail on the force feedback that we know this game is lacking, but compared to the last rendition we had, the last update, they have really packed a lot more force feedback detail. So much so that I'd say the rear-wheel drive cars now are a hell of a lot easier to drive on dirt. Like, you guys, let me know if this has been different for you, but previously they were a handful, man. And with this, I picked this car up relatively quickly, to be honest. So much so that I actually really thought coming into it, I'm going to really struggle with a new wheel and cockpit setup and all that sort of stuff, but I didn't. And I can only really narrow that down to the new tyre development features and the force feedback detail. They are on the right path. This second stage we're watching now, this would be my pick out of the two if I was to choose one. A lot more technical, a lot more flowy. I just like the overall feel of this. It has more of a rally feel. I know that's a weird thing to say in a rally game, but it just does feel a lot more... I guess it's the trees next to you and you're in the forest just whizzing by, you know. It's just, I feel it encapsulates rally a lot better. Very, you could take that any way you want, really. Different people have different takes on rally, but for me, a forest setting with tight, flowy corners and hairpins, I'm happy. Honestly, man, just, yeah, they're on the right track with this game. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. As you know, my last few videos in this, I copped a lot of flack because I was brutally honest for my take. I thought it was, for lack of a better term, pretty shit. But they've surprised me this one. So, man, legends for actually listening to the community, taking it on board, and then translating it back into the game. That's all we want as gamers, man. We want people to actually listen to us, especially when we're the ones paying the money for that, and it actually turns around and you get a better outcome or a better experience when you sink so much money into a setup if you're in a wheel, or just a game that is an underappreciated game, which is Rally in general. We know it's a bit of a hidden gem for the guys that play it or are in the know. You know how amazing and crazy the sport is, but the masses don't even really know about it. So we're a small community, but to have a game developer team that actually listens to you, mint. I would comfortably recommend this game to anyone now. I think it's in a pretty good state. Yeah, we want more new stages. Yeah, we want more car varieties. But as we know, this is all laser scanned tracks and cars, so the detail is very, very detailed, highly realistic cars and realistic stages. So I guess it's worth the wait. for me, I'll play this for a bit more, and then so I don't get over it, I'll go back to Dirt Rally 2.0 and a bit of EA Sports WC, hell a bit of RBR as well, just to keep the rally juices flowing, and I don't get tired of one game. But all in all, man, yeah, really, really good. Things I want to see in the next couple of updates, if it is possible. I'd like more cars. Please bring back the Toyota Sleeker. That thing, yeah, what a legendary car being banned. I think that would just sit in this game really, really nicely now. Let's get VR support going. Come on, man, what are we doing? Like, we can jailbreak the game to play VR. It is there, it's in there already. I think we could do it. And finally, man, let's get the console guys into this game. PS5, Xbox. The consoles are some of the biggest rally guys out there. PC is massive, obviously, with RBR and all the downloads and all that sort of crap. But the console guys, man, they're ready. They're waiting. Like, you know, myself, I was a console player. I feel the pain. I know how limited we are and were with games and choices and stuff like that. You know, hell, we couldn't even get Dirt Rally 1 without getting the actual disc, for example, you know. So, I'm right there with you. I'm batting for you, and hopefully they listen to us and get us all connected in the game. Didn't touch the multiplayer. I'll do a different video on that entirely to see how it even works and flows, and a bit more up-to-date one. But this is more so just the actual force feedback and the tracks themselves. But hell, man, yeah, pleasantly surprised. Would recommend this to anyone. It's not very expensive anyway, as it is. It's beta, or, you know, cheap game. So yeah, get the tick of approval from me, and I look forward to playing these stages more and actually learning them. So cheers for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed the video. If this has made you go and get the game just from my feedback, love to hear that. Any negatives you have yourself that I've maybe looked over or not really got onto, let me know below as well. I'd love to continue this down in the comments. All about it, man. The rally community is some of the nicest guys, honestly. They, you know, we all are pretty realistic and pretty level-headed, I'd say. So always good to have a bit of a chat. But yeah, as always, have a good day, a good night, or a good afternoon, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.